computer's not working. Looks like about 10 more seconds and I'm live. Waiting for the broadcaster to publish. Almost done, almost done. And are we live? We're live. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Todd Standing. I'm the man who takes people out and has them either live interact with or eyewitness a Sasquatch. Is it becoming cliched? I say that all the time, don't I? Anyway, that's what I do. Welcome to my chat room, everybody. I'm late. I went through hell to get here. Hell. But I'm here because you guys are awesome. And this show is always amazing. Hello, Amanda. Thank you for your patience. Wow. Let's have an amazing show. SoCal Forest Ninjas. Hiya! Here as always. Hello, Melissa. Trout fishing at Hood Park, Seattle, Washington. I'm in. Trout fishing, fly fishing. Actually, when we go trout fishing, I have a little secret. You want to hear a really cool secret? When I go trout fishing or when I go fishing, I go into the rivers and I'll go hang out beside other guys and I'll wait for them to go, ugh. They make a funny sound and I go, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. You caught a mountain whitefish, right? And they go, yeah, stupid vermin. Yeah, they're the indigenous fish here. So here's a trout. Give me the mountain whitefish because I like the mountain whitefish. And I think the Sasquatch like the mountain whitefish. The trout are not the indigenous species out here. And that's what I have to say about that. North Olympics, man, we got lots of people. Washington is so hot right now, right? So much stuff going on. I think actually there's always Albuquerque. How's it going? So New Mexico, man, that's another hot spot. But, you know, Washington's so close to me. And gosh, hey, Cappy McCappy. And I just, there was the transportation, some Sasquatch with Washington Transport. That's very interesting. I have to have a look at that a little better. Who knows what it can be. So a lot of, the problem is a lot of these, even ranking officials, they don't take this discovery very seriously. They'll make a stupid little joke. They'll put somebody in a Sasquatch costume and hey, it's all good, right? And to us who are out there busting our asses trying to create some authenticity to this, it's not a big joke to us. It's a very serious, our videos, our evidence, the DNA, the hair samples, the tracks are very serious to us. What do you mean no sound? Check 1, 2, ABCD. There's definitely sound. I just got somebody said there's no sound. I hope that's not the case. So, but yeah, it's hard. I like to laugh. I love the messing with Sasquatch stuff. I really do. But there's got to be a line, and let's not try to take. Let's try not to be fraudulent about things and take it to that upper level, because it's pretty, I don't know, it's damaging because there's so many people, even there are people, a sighting will happen and something cool, a video will come out, and somebody who's really seen a Sasquatch and had the traumatic experience of seeing one, and it can be traumatic sometimes. If a Sasquatch wants you out of an area, oh my God, talk about a traumatic experience. Like, my goodness, that is going to be, it's imagine being charged at by something twice the size of a gorilla that wants you to leave their habitat, and it's real, and you have a real experience with a Sasquatch, and then you get these people that come along, and it's fun to I like the humor and stuff. I love to laugh, but there's a lot of us that take this really seriously, and it's a fine line, right? So this is from Lawrence Lieber. Why does everything around get so quiet when they're around? Well, that's just the law of nature. That's what happens. Birds, if there's 5 rules for birds, look them up, guys. The 5 rules for birds. Most bird species adhere to this. When they're chirping and happy, a certain ambiance. Even the crows, you learn about the crows. The crows are awesome. Crows are around so much, especially where I live. The crows and the raven are huge indicators of what's going on. When they're just hanging out, chapping, chirping, they got high ground, they can see stuff. And can you imagine the perspectives they have and the ability for them to communicate? So, but the energy is, and the Sasquatch, when they're going to come around, that whole incident. So Sasquatch is coming around. If you live in the wilderness and that's your home, the energy is out there. You're just going to feel it. And when the Sasquatch come around, I don't know, the squirrels get it. The squirrels are petrified. My dog, I have this amazing Roddy who's just like, she's such a great bear dog, wolf dog, everything. She's so good with the indigenous species that live here, but she's not good with Sasquatch, boy. She just loses her crap with the Sasquatch. She freaks out, and they kind of enjoy scaring the hell out of her. So I don't know. At least the particular individuals that I like to interact with, that I've had her out with, really like to pick on her and make her growl. They're not afraid of her at all. So if you think Sasquatch are afraid of dogs, oh my God, come on, really? Like, you know, a pack of wolves could go and kill a bear, kill a mountain, like kill anything. The wolves are the apex species. A pack of wolves would get killed by a Sasquatch. A Sasquatch would pick up a boulder and a log and just take on the whole freaking pack all by itself. I have no doubt of this. A bear couldn't do that, but a Sasquatch, even a Sasquatch is going to be able to pick up boulders and throw rocks and stuff. And even they have, you really got to understand, guys, like we have advantages being bipedal with our hands where we can climb and move, but we're not strong like a primate. Like a chimpanzee just smoke up a tree because they have such powerful hands, and the Sasquatch have that. So they have the advantages of the quadrupeds, like gorillas and chimpanzees are knuckle walkers. So they have the power advantage that they have, but they have the advantage of being upright and bipedal, which is a very big deal for hunters that need to go great distances. And when you understand our substrate and our terrain, you have to travel great distances, and you need to be bipedal where you have that knee joint that locks out, because it'll allow you to, the chimpanzees and gorillas, they always have a bend in their leg, and that creates constant flexion of the muscle, and that'll make them less likely to be travel greater distances. Whereas with the knees that lock out, your body can move in a more relaxed state and travel greater distances, which is what a hunter and a forager in our terrain would have to do. So, hey Nate, Barry here. Hello, Central Michigan Bigfoot searcher. Thank you for doing research, Central Michigan researcher guy. So I got Washington. Hi from Oz. That's from Australia, where the Yowie is. I hope you guys are doing well there. Breaks my heart to see all those pictures of all those burned animals. So Northwest Olympics 411 says, was stalked by a bobcat. How crazy. Spent every day out there, so was stalked by a bobcat. Well, I don't think you were in tremendous danger, but you know, how did you, and you know, you have a heightened sense of awareness to even see that and know that, right? What'd you do? Did you do a crazy Ivan where you looped around and saw his tracks following you? So, but that's the kind of stuff that the Sasquatch are gonna like, that you're not blind, that you're figuring these things out. Hey, Wisconsin, Rangers fan from Wisconsin. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, really, you know, it's the more in tune you are with your surroundings, the more likely you're gonna have success with Sasquatch. It's just a fact. So that happened to be on an expedition where a mountain lion was stalking me, and I picked it up and did a loop and found his trackways. So different beings have different energies, right? So my biggest problem, and something I'm working on, is being able to pick up the energy of a Sasquatch. And I think I just have issues about that. I have a lot of paradigms with it. So, and I got to get over that, because I can really tell you there's a bear around, there's elk around, there's mountain lion, there's wolves. I get those energies, I get those readings, and maybe a good skeptic would say, no, Todd, you're not getting the energy. You're picking up little subconscious cues of a wolf sound or a mountain lion sound. And maybe you're right, but I don't think so. So my opinion is, I really do feel the energy of it. So Todd, don't you feel like a Sasquatch will come close to a game camera even if they know about it? Over foods that close? Well, game cams are tricky, right? This is from Timothy. Game cams are tricky, man, because I mean, around your camp, like around your camper and your tent and everything, where you got axes and chairs, why not put a game cam up there? Sure, I was doing that like crazy, and the Sasquatch were still evading the game cameras so well. But you know, game cameras are going to have their uses, and we just got to be real smart about it. And try not to be too tricky about it. It's just complicated. Try game cams by all means, but make sure you're going to need to do that test. Like, put up apples, they take apples. Put a game cam out, do they take apples? That was my problem, is them taking apples is such a big deal. You must understand, if you understand the psychology of how I put apples out, and the Sasquatch eat those apples. They nourish their body with these beautiful healthy apples, organic, that I give them. And they're going to be excited when I come around, and it's a big respect thing. When they don't take the apples, that's a big deal. That means they're not embracing my gift. And that's because there was some deception there. So it really hurt my heart. And expeditioners, I always talk to them and say, hey, what do you guys want to do? This is what usually happens. Do you want that? And, you know, 98% of the time, one time, an expeditioner said, yeah, let's put out game cams. One time, one guy. Everybody else, they're not really concerned with that sort of stuff. They just want to see it for themselves, because we know, and like, you know, honestly, just a couple weeks ago, I did a video where there was a a Sasquatch looking creature in front of a game cam, guys, I'm very convinced that's a Sasquatch. Very convinced. And what did it do? Nobody really cared. If I hadn't put it out there, it'd probably just be some obscure photograph that nobody really cares about. And even I put it out there and people looked at it, and we got 20,000 views here on YouTube. And beyond that, where's the story? Because it's very likely a Sasquatch. And the fact that a hair sample was taken with it, I mean, come on. So, but it's not, I don't know, it's just not getting that, it's not getting coverage like it should, and because it's just no big deal. I'm sorry. Survivor Man had the top of a head of a Sasquatch filmed on his TV show. Nobody even cared. Nobody said a thing. Well, I didn't hear nothing about it. And I was so excited when it happened. I was jumping up and down, giddy as hell. You got the top of the head of a Sasquatch. You filmed a Sasquatch. That was amazing. A Sasquatch blasting past just to grab the apples off the tree. And that substantiates that I've been saying apples have been taken by a Sasquatch. It's so significant. Like, Les Stroud looks at that. He knows that's a Sasquatch. He was up there alone. He knows. And then people will say stupid stuff like, well, it was just some guy. Just some guy? Really? Do you know how bloody hard it was to get up there? Like, he's in the hella backcountry middle of nowhere. There's no guy running around there. You'll die. There's wolves and bears and mountain lions out to kill you. You run around in the wilderness when you don't know what you're doing. With the Sasquatch suit on, like it's just the most preposterous, stupid thing to say, because when you're out there, you get it. And I was down at base camp with his crew while he was up there interacting with the Sasquatch. So, and Survivor Man is very special. He's a shaman, and they really liked him. They really came around for him. What he was able to accomplish was amazing. Unfortunately, he's not back, and the show didn't do back. I don't know. I still go out there. That's still a spot that I do, and people still go out there on expeditions. So, Todd, do you think Sasquatch powers scavenge from wolves, bears? And this is from Nicole Williams. So, that's a really great question. Would they scavenge, like steal away wolves or bears? Absolutely not. Absolutely no way, no chance. So just because literally a Sasquatch can just roll out of bed in the morning and just go, I'm going to have bighorn sheep today, and go get one. That's how good they are. That's the abundance that they live at. They can herd the deer into a Sasquatch, and a Sasquatch will pop out and get himself a deer. Like, it's really the stuff that I've seen them accomplish and the things that they do. You're talking like an apex predator. Like, I can't even imagine. In fact, they're beyond predation. They're culling the herds of elk and taking the young males that are tastier, and that allows the population of the elk to grow. So they don't take the females, they don't take the big males, they just take the young males, and it doesn't damage the population. This is a fact. They're doing this. This is like, it's been proven in the biology. There's a paper written by a biologist from a national park that I work with. The man clearly saw that the young elk between 2 to 4 years old had a 90% mortality rate. Understand, between 2 to 4 years old. That doesn't happen in nature. It doesn't happen. And the reason he came to me is he saw lots of weird stuff going on. And then I started working with him, and I was like, well, that's the age that's something he never thought of. That's the tender, juiciest, best tasting elk are 2 to 4 year olds. He's like, really? But what does that have to do with the biology? It has to do with an animal that's herding it, or a creature, or a primate, or a hominid, whatever you want to call them. The Sasquatch are herding the elk. That's the other thing, is the elk would move into the national park when it was hunting season. They don't know to move to the national park, and that just doesn't happen. That's never happened. I saw that happen in Montana. I saw that happen in the national park that I was just talking about in Canada. That's the Sasquatch. They're herding their elk and keeping them safe. And so absolutely no way would they scavenge. There's just no need at all. So, and a Sasquatch could literally go, even just imagine this, a Sasquatch could go kill a deer, leave the carcass there and just pee around it, and no animals coming near that carcass. They won't touch it. They'll smell Sasquatch scent and they'll just run. So they know to stay away from Sasquatch. They've all had their little experiences where they've had their asses kicked by a Sasquatch. So Clay Cactus Texas Smith, Todd, what's the name of the musical score theme on the new police interview video? It was awesome. I don't know. I just get music from video blocks. So it's in the video blocks music. It's just one of the thousands. Send me an email. If it's important to you, sure, I'll look into that. So it's Clay. Just go to bigfootencounter@gmail.com and send me an email there. I'd be happy to look that up for you. So SoCal Forest Ninja. Whoa, what happened there? Easy there. Hello, everyone from Nottingham, England. Thank you for staying up. That's awesome. Do you think Sasquatch are nocturnal? That's another good question. And what I've learned is different, like deer will be nocturnal or diurnal. Diurnal? What's it when you're daytime? I forgot the term for that. But a species will survive and do something based on what is ecologically better for it. They're so amazing. Deer will become nocturnal if the hunting pressure is during the day, or they'll become diurnal if the hunting pressure is during the night. So, and to me, it's just Sasquatch are just. I think you know what I think. I think they sleep like 4 hours a day in the summertime. They're just so freaking active. When they get active around me, it's day and night, and they're on me and following me. And I've really, at this point, I think they're braver at night. They come around closer at night. Like that's where they've been super close to me is at night. But they're still around in the daytime, and I'm getting as much daytime encounters now as I am as nighttime. So yeah, and you know how much the nighttime are we up? I stay up till maybe 2 in the morning. So what are they doing from two till I sleep till 9. So 2 till 9, what are they doing? And the answer is they could be active, and it's more it's more weather. Weather is much more imperative. When it snows, forget about it. When it's raining, that's bad. And when I found out that gorillas and chimpanzees are the same, they don't like to be out in the rain. It was a big learning experience for me, and I always try to I take my results that I'm getting and I go talk to primatologists about it, and the similarities are just mind-boggling, totally mind-boggling. So this is from Burnt Rubber. I kind of wish we had Bigfoots here in Hawaii. Yeah, because they're not. And I got somebody was going to pay me to go out to Hawaii and look for Sasquatch, and I was just pleading with them. No, I don't want to do that. Just go talk to the native people there. They don't know anything. There's no Sasquatch there, so I'm strongly in favor of there are no Sasquatch in Hawaii, in Sweden, in the UK, and it could be wrong, but I'm just going with just hard science and just truth, and So DC Cooper's laughing. There was a guy in Washington off State Creek Road in a suit. Didn't last too long. That's what it was. So DC Cooper, it was already that sucks, doesn't it? But oh well. So and we're sure about that, because man, I tell you, I've heard people saying that same stuff about me. Oh, we proved Todd Standing's a hoax, and you go, really? And then you have someone like Jeff Meldrum or John Bennernagel or Les Stroud or my other colleagues go, yeah, how was he a proven hoax? And they go, oh, we proved that his dad dated a woman who owned a fabric store. And you go, okay. So it's imperative, us as researchers, that we make sure that it is a real hoax, and we have that. I found, though, the one thing, there's a Bigfoot community out there that I'm not really a part of because I'm so controversial, but or maybe I am, I don't know. But I find that when you unleash the Bigfoot community, if there's something that's obvious, like it's a pre-made mask that can be bought at a store or a suit, they really hit that fast. They did that with that Tom Bacardi fraud thing. What was that? It was years and years ago. I was on an expedition when it happened, and by the time I came back from expedition, this is a long time ago. What was it called? It was a famous Sasquatch hoax. There was media and everybody showed up, and Tom Bacardi was right at the front of it. It was that police officer and that other guy who's just a really weird kind of a meathead guy. But anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about, and yeah, that was proven a hoax real fast by, if the media would have talked to people in the Bigfoot community, they immediately recognized it as a known costume that you just buy at a store for cheap, right? So knowing these things are always hungry keeps me out of the bush. Mark, dude, no. That Sasquatch are not going to eat you. No, you're going to be yucky. They, no. And they have tremendous abundance, Mark. Don't be afraid of them like that. You should get out in the bush. You should love the wilderness. You need to go hiking and stuff. Don't live in fear like that. That's going to kill you. Don't ever do that. So, what happens if Bigfoot gets infected by coronavirus? Well, all the viruses we have are going to be deadly to them, just like gorillas and chimpanzees. When I go see a gorilla, I get examined, and then I put on a mask and I go hang out with the gorillas in the back of zoos. I've done that quite a few times, just dealing with primatologists, because you cough on them, you have a sickness, you kill them, they die. So, and that will be absolutely true for Sasquatch. They won't have the ability to deal with our viruses. We're raised in tremendous environments that suffer from viruses constantly. People are sick and sick and sick, so we've really evolved that way. They have not. So viruses would be deadly to them, and I have no doubt about that. Knowing these things are always hungry. We said that one. You never said it, but I believe you caught the eye shine on your documentary Discovering Bigfoot. Yeah. Yeah. I have to look at that. It's I've been through that footage so many times. You have to understand, when I made that movie, I literally watched every shot like 100 times, over and over and over. Did the sound on it, cut it together. So I'm so really over inundated about looking that. And then expeditioners want to watch it and then ask me questions while it's playing. So I've just seen it so many times. It's really just sick of watching it. So True North, what's up? How are you? I am good. Thank you for asking. Todd, do you think Sasquatch and UFOs are related somehow? No. No, I do not. I see no evidence to substantiate that. So, yeah, no, just not. I mean, let's assume that aliens are real. Let's say if they are real, they're gonna pick people up. They're gonna pick cows up. They're gonna pick Sasquatch up, right? So I think so. But anyways, whatever issues we have with aliens, however they can evade us, they'll likely do the same with Sasquatch. So Hawaiian Bigfoots drink Coronas. They would. I bet they would. I believe the Sasquatch, they're fun, good, LOL, don't leave to scavenge much. Yeah. No, they're not going to scavenge probably at all. I just can't see it happening. Even just fresh meat. Yeah. If you cooked meat and gave it to them, I don't think they would like that. So, yeah, I just see them. I always envision them like they're so. It's hard. It's easy to get caught up in how similar we are, because we are bipedal. We are upright. We do have incredibly similar genetics. However, we're technology and they're wilderness, and there's such a freaking opposites. We like to walk on the trails. They can't stand walking on the trails. We like to be out in the open. They like to hide in the trees. There's so many things. We cook our meat and they like it raw. They raw fish. If you cooked fish, like even now, I eat sushi like crazy. I don't even like cooked salmon or cooked tuna. I like it raw. I had raw halibut. I just absolutely loved it. Now I'm on this raw fish kick, right? And I can't imagine once you get on the raw meat, raw fish, raw awesome foods. I think you're just going to be so stuck on that. I think if you gave them a freaking one of those nasty donuts or jam or something, they'd probably spit it up, because nothing is supposed to be that bloody sweet, and they're just not built for that. That's very unnatural, the things that we eat. I would like to buy the latest John Benenagle's very first book he wrote, but it's $75 on Amazon. I heard it's a very interesting book. Yeah, I just have nothing but good things to say about John Benenagel. What a wonderful, gentle, awesome man he was. So, the book is written by a wildlife biologist. You can learn stuff. So, I don't know where the profits are going to, because I don't think his family has anything to do with. His family has nothing. The Benenagels have nothing to do with Sasquatch anymore. When John Benenagel died, it was the last of his Sasquatch stuff in his family. So, do you think the government is letting them take people? Well, no, not letting them take people. I mean, that's not a good thing. There's no benefit to government officials having Sasquatch take people. They could be covering it up. Probably are. But I don't think the government really cares about us like we'd like to think they do. Do you think the government really cares about us? I don't get that feeling. I think they just say what they want to say to get into power, and then after that, they just don't give a shit. It's all about money and power and yeah. New NHL team called the Seattle Sasquatches. That is awesome. What a beautiful place for a Sasquatch. So I'll smash that button. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate the positivity. Do you think, I read that one. Todd, what do you think about the BFRO? They tried to screw Bigfoot Ontario with you and them as a favorite Bigfoot researchers. Well, that's cool. I don't want to bash the BFRO. It's Matt Moneymaker. If you like his style, then good, So it's not my style. It's very different from me. And this should tell you something. I mean, Jeff Meldrum is not a member of the BFRO. John Benedict was adamantly not a member of the BFRO. My mentor and teacher, my biologist from Great Falls, Montana, he hates the BFRO. They were awful to him. Universities, I know this for a fact, universities have blackballed them because they did some deceptive stuff, So, and Matt Moneymaker, that's not his name. He had his name changed to Matt Moneymaker. His name, okay, my name is Todd Standing. That was my birth name. I was born with that name. My parents gave it to me. Matt Moneymaker changed his name to Moneymaker. So I think he's just trying to tell you right straight up. When I was on their show, it was called a snake oil production. So when I signed the document of the release, they called themselves Finding Bigfoot was a snake oil production. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. What do you think they're trying to say? Snake oil, right? And then half of the producers left and did a fake documentary about the mermaids. That fake documentary on the Discovery Channel was totally fraudulent and absolutely lies and fake with actors. That was the Finding Bigfoot people. So they just, they want to go make money doing a show. I don't want to hate on them. They wanted to make money and they think Bigfoot's not real. And they just thought, well, let's just dick around and just play this stuff up and, be entertaining about it. So were they entertaining? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. They would go places and have tremendous turnouts, and their database is amazing, isn't it? I hear people rave about it all the time. So So this is Nathan Montoya. I don't think it's very smart on Expedition Bigfoot that they want to go out in a Bigfoot hotspot and play loud so-called Sasquatch sounds. No telling what the Bigfoot are going to take of it. Yeah, it's like saying stuff and you don't know what's being said. What if you recorded a call of a Sasquatch saying, "Get the hell out of here, stay away," so you don't know. And I don't know. It's not a terrible idea. I wouldn't do that. So, but but is it real? Are they really doing that? Is there a film crew running around while they're playing those sounds? I mean, there's too much crap going on. So the reality TV is fake. We live in a world where they call something reality TV, and reality TV is fake. That means it's a fake show. It's all made up and it's a fake. It's lying. It's deceitful. It's not real. It's reality TV is fake. So is it a reality TV show? I haven't even watched an episode. But it's not because I'm anything. I just good, So someone says you cannot say no. I can say no, I think. I'd love to say no. Let's go shoot a Sasquatch. Watch this. So somebody asked me, "Hey Todd, let's go shoot a Sasquatch." No. "Hey Todd, Sasquatch are interdimensional beings." No. "Hey Todd, have you ever seen a dog man? You ever seen the?" No. So I can say no. Say no lots. So, but what I do is I theorize, I hypothesize, I'll extrapolate information and deduce it based on my experiences, and I think that's how any good information that you're going to derive has to start there. So, Todd, this is from Andrew. Todd, have you encountered a really sick Sasquatch? Don't think so. Absolutely not. Never seen any signs of an ill Sasquatch, ever. The only thing, this is interesting, so I have, my lungs are badly damaged from hiking and running in minus 20 and below temperatures. It damaged my lungs. So you hear me cough once in a while. But I'm good, I'm strong, and my lungs have incredible capacity. However, when I would wake up in the morning would be the worst. I'd cough. And I'd notice the Sasquatch, I'd hear them go, it sounded like a pathetic, even worse, it was like, it sounded like this totally fake cough. But they would use that they were calling me cough, cough. So I would hear these sounds what is that Sasquatch sick? No, he's calling you. They call you in radium. That's what they called me. I hope they don't call me that anymore. Right? But they were definitely calling me that. And so I thought, what, are they sick or something? And then I realized through other deductions that was what they were referring to me as. They were calling me So, but that just makes sense because they're so darn smart and they're so pure, and but never seen any sign of them being ill. They always seem so strong. I would assume if a Sasquatch was ill, it wouldn't come around me. I think they come around me when they're at their best, when they can move and they're agile. You wouldn't send a wounded, injured, sick Sasquatch around me. So I've seen an injured Sasquatch, a limping Sasquatch. That was in California. But he wasn't sick. He was just clearly something, like his leg was injured or something had happened to him. Do you think they migrate with change of seasons? Not really. They move around. They follow the elk. And where do they sleep? I don't know. I think in caves. I think in their own habitat. I just don't think there's a lot of migration. What they will move for, though, is the salmon runs, right? They're going to move for that. When the salmon's run in places, I mean, that is such a tremendously fantastic food source. It's the perfect kind of healthy fats. There's a tremendous abundance of it. And the Sasquatch know how to take the salmon and put them up. They wrap them in sphagnum moss and put them in the permafrost. They're so smart. So that is what I did. That's what I deduced. And they are doing that. They're moving to where the salmons are spawning. They have to. You have to. It's such a tremendous food source. Well, and then you see the animals are moving to where the berries are. Berries are ripe in this area. There are dozens of bears every year that come into the same spot. They've learned that through the generations. This is where the berries are. And when they eat the berries, they poop out and make more berries. So you get more and more and more and more berries. So there's spots where the bears congregate. So the Sasquatch will do that too, I think. But just the salmon, though, there's just no doubt about it. They're salmon crazy. So, and every species would be that could be. So what do we got here? Do you think they migrate? Cephisaurus, you're welcome. Cynthia Cox, nobody knows anything about Sasquatch. Everybody has an opinion. That's all it is opinion. Thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, I mean, I don't like people saying Sasquatch expert, because who's an expert, right? Like, do I really know how many are in a troop and what exactly they're eating and gathering scat? That would be an expert. So, and she's right. She's right. So a lot of it is opinion, but that's how a discovery starts, is giving your opinion and making deductions and moving forward based on that information. So yeah, and that's what we have to do. I'll tell you one thing I know, Cynthia, Sasquatch are real. I know they exist. I'm not a believer. I know they exist. So that much I do know. Beyond that, I make deductions based on even I deduce that they don't migrate all over the place, because that would allow them to be more likely discovered. They move around in groups and they stay together in groups. They're not running around nomadic, because that would make them more likely to be discovered. So these are deductions I do based on what's real. They're not discovered. What's the most advantageous way to be not discovered? To be in a community, to cooperate, to go to the remote areas. They live in the most remote spots. That's their home. That's what they love. Those are deductions that are logical. You know, they're not coming around towns too much. They're not getting involved in people. They're not walking through town all the time. They're not taking those kind of risks. And they actually, even, we have to deduce that they're really evading us very, very well. And they're not coming out. No Sasquatch, to my knowledge, has ever come out, sat down and had an apple with somebody and sat down at his table and chilled. And maybe that's happened, but the person that did that was so clean and clear that he didn't want any coverage of it, and he hasn't shown or exposed that. So, and good for him if that's happened, but it hasn't happened to me. And I want that. I work very hard. So 778 says, yeah, opinion on that Bigfoot show on Travel to. I haven't watched the show, guys. So I hope it goes well. So I've heard of them dumpster diving. Ooh, yeah, I would doubt that, Clay. People say crazy things. I've heard people say the craziest things. I couldn't see them doing that. They'd be afraid to go near dumpsters, and I don't know. I would find that highly unlikely. Possible, but highly unlikely. Shame on finding Bigfoot the way they treated you. Oh, don't worry about that. You're a true hardcore wilderness expert, and they're a bunch of clowns. Well, thank you, Nicole. I don't want to bash anybody. I'll tell you, though, that episode because I did that episode of Discovering Bigfoot, a man who became a really good friend of mine from the United States paid for Discovering Bigfoot, the feature film. That movie got made because I went on Finding Bigfoot, that TV show. He saw the show and he's like, I like this guy. I want him to prove Bigfoot's real. He called me up. He said, I want you to do a movie. Let's get it going on. I'm going to help you. And he did. He financially subsidized the movie. The movie Discovering Bigfoot cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to make, and I haven't made back tens of thousands of dollars from it. You know? So it's been financially it's a loss, but I don't feel that way. I feel it was very successful, and I'm super proud of the movie, and it's a wonderful tool that all of us can use to show the world that Sasquatch exists. And it's a wonderful tool to even have people start learning about, you know, what did Todd Standing do with Sasquatch? What does Jeff Meldrum have to say about it? And the Survivor Mans. I'm so proud of those episodes. Survivor Man is such an awesome dude. So, yeah, But just remember that. Even other things happen to me. I met a guy from Montana because of the movie, because of the TV show. So it was just two great people that I'd met that changed the course of my whole life forever. And so they would be very unhappy to know that. But, you know, and there was lots going on with that show. I was told by many people that they were gonna try to make me look like a hoaxer and a fraud because they're the Bigfoot experts. If I go on a show and I show these guys I have multiple videos of Sasquatch that they've never been able to get, and I have interactions and I take people up and show them Sasquatch, I offered to show them a Sasquatch for real. They weren't interested. They can't have me on the program because why am I watching this program when this guy is the real deal, right? So they had to do that. I don't know. And by their nature, they had to do it as well. So on so many levels, it is what it is. But again, it worked out much better for me. So I'm still very, I'm super happy I went on that show. As crazy as that sounds, right? So grizzlies are afraid of large Bigfoot. Grizz are afraid. Shelly, hell yeah. Grizzly bears better stay away from a Sasquatch, get their ass kicked by him. Todd, do you think you could arrange for a Sasquatch to come on a track day with me? Nope. That'd be awesome. I'd love to have that. But can you imagine them track and field? They'd shot put, take the spear. You know, messing with Sasquatch. Just have some fun for a second. Can you imagine messing with Sasquatch, latching onto that spear and throwing it? Woo! I mean, they throw rocks 250 yards easily. They'd throw that spear. It would just fly out of the track and field dome and right into traffic, right? So it'd be dangerous. So do you listen to Sasquatch Chronicles? I've listened to a few of them. Yeah, and Wes has had an up and down relationship with me. I've only had an up relationship with him. Before he was not very welcoming to me, and now he's been extremely welcoming. So, and I've been on his show, and I like the way he interviews people. He is a talented guy. Say what you will, I know about there's been stuff and whatever, but he just has a way. I'm really happy that the Sasquatch Chronicle show exists. And I like the way he interviews people. I like the way he's got a real talent. He's very talented for interviewing people. And I'm super grateful that he's out there doing the work that he does. I really, you know, I really think highly of that show. So that's my opinion, right? Do they hibernate? I'm absolutely highly doubtful they hibernate. Clay Cactus says, one came up on me when I was on my truck and banged on the hood 7 times, put 2 dents in it. Crazy. You should film that. And do you have any, so I'd ask you this, Clay, did you get any fingerprints? I have pictures on my Instagram of the Sasquatch fingerprints because they went and whacked the glass when my trailer was all dirty because I have to go down dirt roads. They came up to my vehicle, whacked the glass. They came up to where I was sleeping, whacked the glass, and those are Sasquatch fingerprints. I'm so convinced of it. Just the way that they're so odd. Like I put my fingerprints beside it, and just the way I know their hand is, it's longer. It's got that thumb that's lower, and the fingers are bigger. I just know it's a Sasquatch fingerprint. And I was so bloody excited about having Sasquatch fingerprints, and nobody's been able to substantiate or even show me that it's something else. I'm so convinced of it, but I haven't had anybody. So if you have prints of some kind, I'd love to hear about that. So, and again, my theory on do they hibernate is a strong no, just because true hibernators in the wilderness are extremely rare. And and they come out in the wintertime all the time, but so do bears and they're hibernators. So I'm strongly against the hibernation factor. So could be wrong, but that's just a theory. So what do you think of the reason? This is from Annalisa Medlin. So bad with names, I apologize. What do you think is the reason for their awful smell, rolling in their urine like moose and elk? Scent glands? It's scent glands. Whoops. It's put this back on. It's definitely scent glands. If you ever look at a gorilla, they will literally, their glands you could actually see them physically open and yellow drops of urine come out. And that's how the Sasquatch will sweat. They just have glands that open. And I can tell the difference between a Sasquatch that has been chronically smelling. It's a I don't know how, it's a duller stink. And then I can tell if a Sasquatch is acutely smelling. And that's a sweeter smell. And the sweeter smell means he's mad at you right now. And the old stench means he's been mad and stinking for a long time. But most Sasquatch don't stink. It's they're only going to do that when they're in a situation where they're offended and angry and upset, and you don't really want that. And so that's not happening a lot with me. They're coming around, they're choosing to come around. They don't have any reason to be angry and upset with me because I'm totally chill on it. But if you're messing with their elk, you're messing with their food, one of their young came down and they thought it was a scary situation, they're going to come down the hill and they're going to stink and they're going to smell. The number one thing I always tell people, though, remember this, people, is if you can smell a Sasquatch, he damn well knows that you can smell him. He's telling you he's there. You don't smell a Sasquatch and then, oh my God, he doesn't even know. No, he knows. They live and die by the wind gauge. The wind gauge is first nature to them. He knows he smells. He knows you got the wind. He knows the wind is coming to you. He knows. So really understand that. You're not dealing like a human being might make that dumbass mistake and do that. Not a Sasquatch. He probably got in position to give you the wind gauge so you could smell him. Really understand that, because they move based on that. That's their life. That's their first nature. So really, really get that. That's the most important thing I tell people about that is he knows. He knows. And if it's a really dull, stinky odor, then he might be a lone rogue male that's running around. And if it's an acute, sweet, and you can really tell. Just pay attention, guys. If it's a really sweet, pungent smell, like it's really sweet, it's almost sugary stinky. It's like, whoa, that's... and then if it's like a dull, old, moldy stink, it's very different. And it's very important that you know that. Because if you have a lone rogue male running around, he's going to be gone and never come back. If you have the sweet smell, that is an incident where you're dealing with a troop of Sasquatch. That's the difference. Really get that. If you're smelling a Sasquatch and it's a really acute sweet smell, it's more likely to be a troop of Sasquatch. If you have a dull, yucky odor and you don't see them around hardly at all, it's likely just a Sasquatch was cruising through for whatever reason. Males get kicked out of troops and so do females. A daughter of a male Sasquatch will not breed with his father. It can't. That's inbreeding. And gorillas and chimpanzees don't do it. So you bet the Sasquatch don't do that. And they're loving, wonderful families. I'm just so convinced of that. This is like we talked earlier, like the nice lady mentioned, it's an opinion. But based on what I've seen, they're so freaking devoted to one another. And I'm sure that the dad would grow up and love his daughters. And then when they left, he's probably sad they leave. So I really feel that chemistry out there. And this is me being very romantic. Being all romantic. But Jane Goodall's like that. And if you don't like the way Jane Goodall is, then you don't forget about it. Go away. Don't be a fan of Todd Standing. That woman is my hero. I just adore her so much. I think the world of her. And when I see a similarity between the way I naturally am and the way she is, she's romantic about Sasquatch. She thinks they're real. She's almost getting tired of the question because people are doing it in kind of an insulting way. But she's beautifully romantic. Jane Goodall went into a room where all these PhDs and all these amazing people were, and they're kind of hoity-toity with their suits and stuff. They're all doctors and universities. You know what the first thing she did? She made a chimpanzee call, like this really cool, loud chimpanzee call, and it was authentic. And hi, I'm Jane Goodall, and that's the sound a chimpanzee wakes up, and that's what he yells out into Africa in the morning when he wakes up. Welcome to my seminar. And people were almost like leaving the room. If you're not out here for chimpanzees, if you can't understand, if you can't appreciate and respect a master, a woman who's been out in the bush, boots on the ground for decades, if you can't appreciate the brilliance that comes with that, when she made that sound, it almost brought tears to my eyes. I was just like, wow, what an honor to hear Jane Goodall make a chimpanzee sound, and it was bang on. So, because she's romantic about it, because that's the call, and she put joy into that. Do you really understand that too? She's a PhD scientist, and she put joy and love into it because the chimpanzees do. And then she has a romantic idea because she sees the good in them, and so do I. And it's so clear to me. And there's really no way, and there's a lot of primatologists that are, a lot of scientists that they're passionate. They feel a love and a passion for things that they do. Even who cares if it's science? Why can't you love your science? So Ashley, only sending one more time, Todd. So Todd sees. I believe I found a Bigfoot. I believe I found a footprint a few days ago. My first one. Well, that's Ash. Congratulations. So Ashley is. A really nice lady from Washington State. Ashley, please send me that. We would love to see that. I'd love to hear your accounting of that and what happened with that. That would be wonderful. Sorry, I know I'm not getting everybody here, so I just kind of go through the list. But congratulations, Ashley. That's so great. Isn't that exciting? It's so exciting. I never get tired. When I take people out on expedition, I show them Sasquatch tracks. Even I'll get them to take their shoes off and step in it. Like you're stepping where a Sasquatch stepped. It's like holy ground. And you can feel it when you put your foot in there. You can feel the crushing power that it took to make that indentation. And I think it's just so wonderful. It's so exciting to me. And then even to being a tracker, what's really amazing, what the gift of being a tracker is really about is you're learning and you're able to piece together what this animal, as in deer or wolf or bear, you're seeing what they were doing and how they were moving, and you're stepping in those. It's almost like you're getting insight into their world. This beautiful piece of insight. It's very precious. My teacher was very difficult about teaching tracking because he found it was a power that it gave you that really you had to be special and you had to not take advantage of that power and that ability. And I kind of proved that to him a little bit. And so he taught me a lot of stuff. But, and then when I walk in a Sasquatch trackway, like that's just so, on Instagram, on my Instagram page and on my Facebook, there's a shot of these two tracks that are like this right behind a tree where he was watching our base camp. And the fact that the tracks are deep in the grounds, like he was standing there for, who knows, hours, days. And one of the expeditioners kept wanting to go over there. And I was like, I don't want to go over there. What the hell's the point? And then you get over there, and if you stand about 8 feet high, there's a little spot between trees where you could see our base camp perfectly, and you wouldn't be able to see him at all. It was amazing to stand in those tracks, to feel that energy, to know he put his hand on that tree and was watching us. And then to see people moving around base camp the way the Sasquatch saw us. Like he had such a good view. And at this is probably 200 yards, all you would see is his eyes between. You'd never see him. Never would you see him. He's just totally in this perfect spot. Brilliant, brilliant place to stand and watch us. And then we found the tracks, and it makes my week when I see stuff like that. It's just so astounding because it's Sasquatch. The expeditioners all knew it. They knew it. I didn't even want to go over there. So, and that makes the whole experience so rich and authentic too, right? Because somebody else made that discovery on expedition with me. It was that Stefan. He's just amazing, that guy. He always sees a Sasquatch, but he always never gets enough. He always wants more. On every expedition he comes out with me, he sees a Sasquatch. So, but he's got great intuition, something amazing about so many of the expeditioners, though. I look for that. There's a brilliance. I'm excited about the new people coming out this year. They're really special, wonderful people. And I'm so excited to go on expedition with them this year. It just enriches my life so dramatically. I come out and these wonderful people learn about tracking in the wilderness and plants and animals, and they have some Sasquatch stuff happen, and you expeditioners have no idea how you've enriched my life. Like these people are my best friends now, and that's all because of Sasquatch stuff, So I'm just so touched, and I learn so much. And that's what the expeditions are about with me. It just enriches my life. It's these brilliant, amazing people that just keep coming back, and they're just brothers of mine, brothers and sisters. And I just, all of you, I can't wait to see you guys every year. It's just so amazing. And these relationships that I'm building, and I don't know, the Sasquatch excited to see Stefan or see Atara come out or see, Shelly come out. I don't know. I hope so. So this is from Peter. What sound should I make to get a Bigfoot to respond? Peter, make your own sound. You gotta go from your own heart. I did this with Survivor Man. So I'm going out with Survivor Man, and he's making calls. This is his day to make calls, and he's an incredible singer. I've told this before. I'll tell it one more time though. So he'd make a call, and I'd go, no, bad. And he'd get mad. He'd be like, what the hell do you mean bad? That was not from your heart. I didn't feel it. I want to feel like a chime go off. So he goes up, and we walk for a couple hours. He makes another call, and I go, nope, that's just not it. And he goes, what? And less, when I have a relationship with somebody, it's not easy. I'm not an easy guy to get along with because I work and I give everything. I give 100%. I give the best of everything of me, and I expect that from everybody that I go out with. And he made another call, and it was like, no, it was close. It was better. You're moving in the right direction. That's my critique, but you just know what I'm talking about less. This is Survivor Man. It's not enough. Let it go. Let your heart. I want to feel it. I want to feel a chime go off. Golfers talk about that little tingle when you hit the ball perfectly, right? Or a baseball player or football player when you throw the ball. So He went up to the next spot. And again, I'm not telling him what to do, what sound to make, just from the heart, man. Because you know what I do now? I go, woo! That's my sound. And it shows who I am. Woo! I make that sound, and I think about a Sasquatch, and I get all excited, and I, woo! That's my sound. I just imagine the Sasquatch smiling even and going, yeah, that's our boy. And the excitement is about the Sasquatch, and that represents me really well. But not everybody's like me. Survivor Man's was a very mature, deep, passionate, wisdom kind of call. That's what he did. That is bang on the sound that he made. I remember it very vividly because the Sasquatch made it back. That's how good it was. And after he made that sound, I looked at it, I was like, that's what it was. And you know what he did? Because we were arguing. He's mad at me. I'm a little, not mad, but we're butting heads, right? That's a good relationship. We're butting heads. And he made that call, and he smiled at me and he said, you got me. Because I was like, yeah. And we were all happy. We felt all good about the call. Forgot about Sasquatch for 40 seconds until he called back. So that's what you do, Peter. Find your own thing. Maybe the Sasquatch will teach you. I don't know where your inspiration can come from. I don't know. Just work it out. Literally, I did probably 11 years of Sasquatch calls before I found my call that I like now. And it'll change. It'll evolve. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Change it up, switch it up, do different things. Work from your heart. That's the best way to make a discovery happen. And be true to yourself, right? So don't put up with crap. Stand up for what's right. Show some integrity in your research, and it'll shine through. You'll win. And if you lose based on your integrity and you're telling the truth, then the game wasn't worth playing. I don't want that game. I don't want to be involved in that situation. I don't want to call it a game. I don't want to do that discovery. I don't want to do it the BFRO way or the Tom Biscott. I don't do it that way. I would fail if I did that. I don't even copy John Bennernagel and Jeff Meldrum and Les Stroud. I'm Todd Standing. They're definitely powerful influences in my life. Powerful men that I admire. But I would fail if I did it their way. I'm me, and I have to do things my way. So, and backbone has so much to do with it, guys. You know, don't show backbone, do it your way. And when you feel that you're doing the right thing, maintain that. And that goes with everything in life, right? So if we could all just tell the truth, why can't we just tell the truth and be honest and tolerate one another? Why do we have to be angry and stuff? I can't stand that. Banshee Native Cry. Cactus Clay says, I'm going to do that call in my area. They will know me. And that's great. And duplicate my call. I don't mind. Duplicate the things I do. I don't mind. But try to put your own spin on it too. And don't be rote in your learning. Like really think and feel and dream about it and imagine it at night. Go to bed thinking about it. Put a pen and a piece of paper by your bed, because if you have an idea, you want to write it down when you get up. You can get some incredible inspiration from that stuff, right? Because it's your discovery. It's our discovery. It's, you know what I mean? So it's both. Cooperate, but make it your own. So fight for it, bleed for it, work for it. Know in yourself. Don't believe, know. Know in yourself. Because, man, I'd love it if one of you guys went and made this discovery. That's me. You want to meet me? Hi. You want me to be your biggest fan in the world? Go make this discovery happen. You're going to just make me happy. That's all I want is the discovery. I left for years. Yeah, and that is a Ric Flair thing, isn't it? It's definitely Ric Flair. I'm not a huge wrestling fan. I enjoyed wrestling when I was younger. But yeah, it's woo! It's Ric Flair. So I'm not sorry, but whatever. But it's my spin on it too. It's like, woo! I really get it. I really give it. I can't see the Sasquatch not smiling, literally smiling when they go, man, that kid's crazy. Let's go have some fun with him. And they do, right? So that makes me really happy. And so I'm not going to change. That's if it makes me happy. The Ric Flair whoop, then have a good day. That's what it is. So Trump Street, triples R675. Todd, can you send me a Sasquatch footprint mold for my birthday? Oh, I'm going to start trying to do that stuff. I don't have one. Jeff Meldrum has the best. He's got the best. And I'd like to start merchandising that stuff. Make a real nice, there's one footprint Jeff Meldrum has. It is so amazing. Such a brilliant, fantastic. He's got the best print I've ever seen. And, so I'm going to try to work that stuff out. I think that would be wonderful to have those things for people because they're so amazing. Cindy Jones, wish I could go with you. Why don't you go with me, Cindy? What's your problem? So, what's your issue, girl? So, and maybe you can go with me. I don't know. There are people that are disabled that are watching my documentary, that are tuning into the live videos, they're sharing my videos, they're helping other people that they believe in, that are doing authentic, awesome research. Good for them. And got the Ric Flair thing popping up a couple times. And it's Ric Flair. Thank you for noticing that. I was trying to keep it a secret. But anyways, it's all out. I do a Ric Flair whoop whoop. So yeah. But anyways, let's do some more questions. So we would like to see more videos of the Sylvanics, and you can. We're going to get to that, Shelly. I'm working on it right now. I got so much stuff, so many commitments, so many things. And it's been a good hour on here. So let's just do a couple more questions. You guys are amazing. Todd, how many types of Bigfoot are there? One species. That's it. And that's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. It just seems like one. That's it. They're different looks, different. Some are bigger and dominant. Some are smaller. Some are runts. I don't know. But another Bobby Fowler says, okay, how many types of Bigfoot? And then right below it, how many different family groups have I seen? This is a very complicated question. I'm quite convinced that I've been in the presence and studied groups of Sasquatch. So I'll say the Randy Brisson I spent time with, Montana I spent time with. So there's 2 spots in Montana that I spent time in. California, I spent some time there, got some footage of one particular troop with Claudia Ackley. I did not, I believe she saw Sasquatch, but I don't believe I was around a troop, so I'm not counting. So I'm at 4 there. Then I've got the Nordegg, the Radium. So that's 6 different family groups that I've been aware of and I've studied in quite great detail. So I would say 6. Just off the top of my head. Good question. So yeah, there's definitely Sasquatch in Montana. I saw them there. They're definitely there. 7. So lucky 7. Let's go 7 because I've got the. Sorry, Larry. I got Larry in Nia Bay. He's definitely got Sasquatch out there, no doubt about it. Him and Analia, his partner, are just amazing in Nia Bay. Oh my God! And Washington. Is just one in Washington? I feel like there's more. No, it's just one for sure in Washington State that I've been around, one troop. So it's 7 that I have. So the Nia Bay one was the shortest. I was only out there for maybe, 10 days? I was out in the Nia Bay area. Just can't say enough good things about how awesome it was out there, how amazing those people are. In Washington State, I just love Washington State so much. Just go out there and I love the where Starbucks is, the first Starbucks. There's a wonderful dock there where just incredible food, incredible fish. Just what a beautiful. I just had Seattle and Washington State just touched my heart. It's so different from what I'm used to. It's so beautiful in some way. And I do recommend that farmers market down by the dock. I can't remember what it's called, but it's right on the ocean there. It's the famous one. I just recommend it because it's nature there. When you go there, man, the farmers and the plants that they have there are unreal spectacular. Unreal. Like the freshest, most incredible food. And that's nature to me. That's organic and touching in, and that's so much to do with the Sasquatch. I don't know. I just feel that way. So it's wonderful to support farmers that are out there working hard, growing their own crops and talk to people. So it's just so indigenous, wonderful. How many different family Bigfoots have I seen? That's the one. Any known activity coming from South Florida? I was down in Florida at the Glades. I didn't include that one because I was never definitively convinced there were Sasquatch out there. Not to say there's not. There's, tremendous, the locals have lots to say about it. And the Everglades, what abundant, beautiful terrain. So I think just based on the biology, there could really be Sasquatch there. There could really, really be Sasquatch in the Glades. Really, really. And then now you get all these people talking about them. They call them skunk apes. So of course they could survive out there. Of course they could eat alligators and fish and, yeah, of course they could. And it's so beautiful there. I understand. I thought it was crazy. People like, when you go down the Glades, you'll get lost in the beauty of it. And I'm like, this is a swamp. What do you mean beauty? It's so beautiful. If you haven't been there, I was just in awe. No mountains, no rivers, just swamp. And one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. I was like, I understand why people just move out here and live in the swamp, The beauty is just overwhelming. The abundance is overwhelming. You have to see it to experience. If you'd have told me that, I'd say you're crazy. Are you crazy? It's a swamp. It's so beautiful there. So Sasquatch could definitely do that. Do you think they eat humans ever? No, never. Never would they. I can't ever see that being a possibility. So, wow, extremely unlikely. Just people are yucky. People are, you know, the Sasquatch, when you come on, when you do research with me, they're going to know your smell. They're going to know your scat. I mean, this is weird, but you got to be clean. Otherwise, they'll stay away from you. And most people are very, very, very unclean. We eat junk food, garbage, processed crap, and that comes off. We smell it, and that's not good. Why would you want to eat something that eats processed, nasty food like us or you could have an organic, free-range deer anytime you want? When you grow up eating deer and elk and moose meat, and it's raw, fresh, beautiful, organic, delicious, like the best meat, that is the way meat is supposed to taste. Why would you go eat some nasty human? Nasty. Oh, we'd be nasty. Comparatively speaking to what they have. And, so it just seems so immensely unrealistic. Why would Sasquatch be kidnapping people? And that's a whole other question that I went into, and let's talk about that. Because the native people in the beginning, and they still talk about this, when the Sasquatch comes around, they cover their children up with blankets. And I kept thinking, why? Why are they so worried about the children? Why would Sasquatch be stealing children? You know why? This is my theory. And let's talk about this. What if a Sasquatch lost its young? I'm a father now. If I lost my son, I would be devastated. That would be the ugliest, most horrible thing. I adore and love my son with all my heart, and my daughter. I am absolutely bat crazy about them. I adore them with all my heart. I think if my son or daughter were lost, maybe I would go steal another child. That's my theory, because I tell you, they say keep the children away, cover them with blankets, make sure the children aren't shown, and there might be a good reason for that. This is just a very loose theory. This is loose, guys. This is not tight at all. But it's just, I imagine, and you see the times, like it was Ruby Creek that made me think about that. The native woman covered up her children and walked away because the Sasquatch was doing weird things. Maybe he was really depressed. He lost his child. Can you imagine? Like a loving, devoted, terribly loving, devoted parent loses its child, maybe just replacing it. Maybe that's a common thing they do, right? I don't know. And just, I've heard it too many times. And it's a very interesting, why would the natives be saying, and you really got to listen to these people because they damn well know, cover up your children and move your children away, So, and that just kind of tells me maybe that children are getting stolen. And that's what the natives say, is children do get stolen. And there's evidence to substantiate that too, that we've seen with the David Pilati stuff, even stuff I've seen where children get stolen. So, but I don't want to think that they're harming the children. Maybe they are, but maybe that happens. I don't know. So, hey Todd, in discovering Bigfoot night footage, when a big male has its back turned to you, how big was it? And were you fearful? Huge, Nicole, huge. Like you saw me standing there, I jumped in the air. Like that Sasquatch was over 9 feet tall. That was not the big dominant male of the troop. So, was it Jake? Maybe, I don't know. He was definitely black. He had no kinds of gray on him or anything. And yeah, he was huge. He was absolutely enormous. Was I fearful? I was shaking. You're cold. I was kind of beyond hypothermic. I'd been out there for quite some time, maybe 5 days. So I was like, you get hypothermic and then you get cold and you just feel fine, but you're really like, you go to put a key in and your hand is just like shaking. You go, oh, you just get used to the cold. It settles into you. Hypothermia comes in slow. So I didn't know if I was shaking from the hypothermia or if I was shaking from the fear. And it's really, you just get kind of, put a program in your head. Keep moving forward. That's all I know. Keep moving forward till you can't move forward anymore, till it's not reasonable, till your life is literally going to end if you keep moving forward. That's how I move in the wilderness. There's a Sasquatch there. Move forward, man. Yes, I'm scared. Yes, I'm terrified. It's a Sasquatch. Of course I'm scared. You feel fear, man. Feel it. But don't do this if you can't walk through your fear. Don't do it. And I'll walk through it, terrified, making horrible screaming sounds. Get out of here! Yeah! Remember that with the flare? Screaming. I did that. I don't do that now. I don't think I'd ever do that again. I don't think it helped the situation at all. But yeah, I'm always afraid when they're around. I'm afraid when there are bears around. I feel fear. Like, I'm not fearless, you know. I feel fear. I think it would be you'd be very foolish to not feel fear. Or maybe you'd have to be really clean. Maybe you have to be clean and have tremendous faith to have no fear. And I am not clean, and my faith is having some problems right now. So there was a time where you could look at me and I just had these clean eyes and I was clear and I had tremendous faith and stuff. And I've been through the meat grinder and tossed out and spit out and damaged. Just life, man. And, you know, who doesn't go through this stuff? We go through it, guys. It's out there. The world is full of atrocities in so many levels. It just happens. And, you know, and I've been through the meat grinder. Just nothing to do with Sasquatch. Just being a human being and going through life itself. You know, we all suffer and have, you know, horrible distress. And so that's tested my faith, and it affects my Sasquatch research. Absolutely. I think I would have had a much better year this year if I wasn't so personally screwed up and damaged. So love the show, Todd. Thank you so much, Mark. I love doing the show with you guys. I really do. Ashley says lots of tulip farms around here in the Seattle area. Isn't that cool? Tulips. That's awesome. DC Cooper says, love it here in Washington. Yes, born and raised around the Cascades. Yeah, that's so cool. I love the Cascades. And Puget Sound, beautiful Puget Sound. Are you kidding me? What a wonderful place. Sorry, you know, I really am enamored with Washington State. It's so lush and abundant and beautiful. Like, you know, in Alberta and Montana, a little bit in Idaho, you get a lot of deserty kind of conditions, comparatively speaking, to how lush and abundant it is right along the ocean. And I can't not appreciate that, guys. I just appreciate it so much, you know, because it's harder in Montana, Alberta, in the middle states. It's just there's not as much abundance. The salmon runs don't come down that far, and you know, it's yeah. So True North says males run the show. It's very clearly to me a male-dominated society. I completely agree with that. Can you comment on the older Black Devil photo, where it was taken? It's not older. That's one of my most recent ones. And yeah, the reason I called it the devil photograph in the beginning, because there was so much devil's golf, devil's footstool, and clearly to me these devils were in really good Sasquatch habitat. So I probably shouldn't have called them that, because it's had some ramifications to do with like evil and darkness, and they're not that. That Sasquatch is not anything just other than wonderful and amazing, beautiful creature. But so you're asking me, can I comment on the Black Devil photo? Where was that taken? And so, well, it was taken in radium. All my great footage is in radium. So all my footage from 2008 on is all radium stuff. And yeah, just in radium up on a mountain. That was a plan I wanted to do with Survivor Man, but we couldn't work it out. Just wasn't going to work. So I was saving that for a big day, and Survivor Man, just the weather and with all the strict parameters we have to adhere to in for his TV show. The TV show's his priority. He's got to get the show done. So we just couldn't maneuver that way. And he had tremendous success. He was super happy with this. I was super happy with his success. But anyways, I went and did that after working with Survivor Man, and it was a whole cat and mouse thing that I did to get that footage, and it worked. So you should know, I've tried, I don't know, 100 different ways to get footage, and I've failed. Like, you know, literally I was looking at my stats and I thought, well, it really looks like for every one time I get footage, it's like I fail 10 times. It's worse. It's way worse than that. It's 20 times, 30 times. I try 30 times to get footage, and get footage 1 in 30 times. Like, my numbers are so low. Footage is so hard. So it's just the way it is. But yeah, just a couple more questions, guys. It's been an awesome show as per usual. How much and what does Bigfoot eat, consume? Just their opportunists, and you know, the calories, you know, like I could eat 4,000 calories a day. I don't think Sasquatch are going to do much more than 7,000 to 8,000 calories a day. These are my opinions based on biology and what I've talked to other biologists about. So yeah, and you know, they're going to move around and go where the berries are. Strawberries are ripe here now, and then the bearberries are ripe now, and then you need the rose hips to clean out your gut for the winter that the bears do. So everything kind of falls into nature in a brilliant, amazing way, just to enhance the survival of creatures that live in the wilderness, including the Sasquatch. So Trump Street Trailer says, show Todd some love and hit that like button. Thanks, Trump Street Trailer. I appreciate that. So I get so much positivity from you guys. Like I love doing the show. So, hey Todd from Griffin, Georgia. Very proud of what you're doing here. Best I've ever seen. Glad you're doing it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Clifford. That's awesome. Sherry says, I watched your video of Bigfoot running up the hill in slow motion when its left leg twisted in a way human legs can't or don't know. Have you ever noticed that? No. I had a kineticist analyze it, Sherry, and the guy was just like he was so stunned that a biped could move that fast and through that kind of terrain so fluidly. And then Amanda went and watched the video and found that the Sasquatch actually fell in video 3. So not only did he move faster than the fastest man in the world, I'm very convinced that Amanda discovered that he freaking fell. Boom, got back up. Can you now imagine this? He's moving faster than the fastest man in the world can move, and he fell and got up? That's crazy. Like, that is crazy. So, Shelly, if you have that information, I hope you're still on here because Amanda's saying goodnight to you. I'd love for you to send that to Amanda. I think Amanda is probably the #1 expert in the world when it comes to that footage. Nobody else found out that Sasquatch fell down. I just give that footage away. Like, you call me, Shelly. I'll give you the raw thing. You can download it and have a look at it. I have no fear about anybody ever discovering anything other than that's absolutely legitimate. The more people look at my footage, the more they study it, the more they go, wait a second, that can't happen. This can't happen. Oh, that's not human-like. Oh, there's 4 eyes that go across there instead of, the more people analyze it, the more you get into it, the more you go, that's not a mask. That's not a man. That is absolutely legit. And, Cindy says, I want to go help hunt. Well, Cindy, there are so many levels to help. Amanda helps me. Phil helps me. Atar helps me. There's so many things. It's really, it's a lot. It's a lot. There's a lot of work. I need help on so many levels. And I am going to, I'm going to bring a couple people out on expedition that will get paid for this year by me. Just through I'm getting lots of donations from people, and I'm just going to pick some donators, a couple people, and I'm just going to I'm going to take a big bowl and fill it up with names and pull a name out. I talked about that last year, and I'm going to do that this year. So I just have the ability to do that, so I'm really excited about doing that. So that's our show for today, guys. Thanks so much for all these wonderful questions. Hey, just one more. Wilty Folk. Hey, Todd, we've got a troop that's been coming around our house this year, and just recently on the BC-Alberta border. That's great. Anybody who has that information, please, let's work, guys. I live right on the BC Alberta border area. That's my home area. My home area, the secret's out. Right now, from Kananaskis to Banff, through Lake Louise, Banff National Park, Lake Louise, into Yoho National Park, and down into the Kootenays, up to Revelstoke. That's where Todd Standing knows his way around really, really well. Been all through the backcountries out there. There are Kananaskis. There are Sasquatch in Kananaskis. There are Sasquatch around the reserve in Morley that I've seen. There are Sasquatch around the Banff area into Lake Louise. I've seen them in through that area. They're definitely in Yoho National Park. No doubt about it. I've seen them there a few times. And then all the way up through my area of Golden and into Revelstoke, and then down through the Kootenays where I study them. This is me just going through the map. And into Radium. Kootenay National Park is famous for Sasquatch. So that's my spot. BigfootEncounter@gmail.com. Please send us an email. Take the time, please. I would love to hear that stuff. And if you have really great stuff, I'm going to put you on my show. And how do you want to go on the show? Like the last show, a couple last shows, I'll keep you perfectly anonymous if you want. You don't have to have ever your name said. I just want to hear the authenticity of what's going on with you. And through you and through your experiences on my show, so many people go, I'm having the same stuff, and that helped me so much. But until you hit me with the questions, I can't do much more than that, So thanks so much for the show, guys. This show is all about you guys. Look at this. We've got hundreds of people from all over the world. Amazing show. Thank you so much, Amanda, for coming in and doing your help. Again, thank you, everybody. You guys are just awesome. Central Michigan Bigfoot, SoCal Forest Ninjas, Cappy McCappy, all you guys are awesome. I love doing this show with you guys. Please keep coming out to the show. look forward to these shows so much. You guys are just absolutely amazing. And let's get controversial. Let's get crazy. If you guys have awesome, crazy questions, give them to me. So, and if your question's not getting answered here, I don't know. Bigfootencounter@gmail.com. If you impress Amanda, boy, she's going to give me that question, right? So, and there are ways to email me stuff. I'm quite active on Facebook, and I do the best I can. So Instagram, not so much, but yeah, guys, just keep hitting me with those questions. If you have really great questions, yeah, I love to answer them. I love it. And I love it when they're hard. Don't think, hey, I like Todd, I'm a fan of Todd, but I don't want to ask him this question. All the more reason. The more of a fan you are, the more you appreciate me, you must know that I am about the truth. And I can take it, brother. I can take it. Hit me with it. I want to hear those tough questions. So, and I tell that to my mediators here. There's some people that, as long as you're not, don't be swearing and angry. F this, swear this, S word, that. Don't do that. If you have a hard question for me, let's bring it. I like those tough questions. That's some fun. I have some fans here that are really, your questions are great, but don't be afraid to ask me those questions, guys. I'm scrappy, right? I like a little scrap. I like a little spice. Let's kick some ass and let's make this discovery happen. Gosh, my greatest dream would be that I don't make this discovery, that I mentor and help somebody that needs it make this discovery happen and have this discovery move forward. It could be the dude that we just saw here. Hey, something's happened on the Alberta-BC border, or Ashley, you just got a track. Congratulations. Maybe Ashley goes and helps this discovery move. Maybe she's the one that makes the discovery and I'll be asking for a picture and an autograph from you, Ashley. That's my dream. But we move forward as best we can. Who knows what's going to happen, but I want this discovery to happen. I'm very passionate about it. And you guys are helping me. You guys motivate me. And I want to do the same thing to you as a cooperation. We are so powerful. Let's do this. Let's make this discovery. Thank you so much for tuning in. There'll be a Throwback Thursday video tomorrow. There'll be a Saturday video. I'm almost done. And I'll be back Wednesday and I will be on time. I just love doing the show with you guys. You guys are fantastic.